big fuss, but you can look at the alcohol shops on the left and on the right, because now, due to the different taxation in the European member states, we have different prices in alcohol. In Stockholm, you notice probably expensive, yeah? In Finland expensive, in Estonia cheap, in Latvia it's even cheaper. So that's why everybody is driving on the other side of border, buying the vodka and the beer, because now we are in the European Union, we can buy as much as one can carry. There is no limitations. And when they go back, drive back to Finland. Yeah, so basically without spending any money or time in Estonia, out from a ferry, Latvia border station, and then back to Helsinki. And you will save about 30% of the alcohol price. So here you can see now the border station comes, and there is another Alko 1000 market. And talking about Latvian drinking habits, a Latvian person is also in the Guinness Book of Record because he had the biggest status of drunk. So in his blood was found 8.8 promille of alcohol, and he was still alive. So with this status, he is in the Guinness Book of Records also. So, I don't know, it's a very respectful or not. So here we are, coming, Estonia, my country. Very easy, drive in, no passport control. Although they may have right to actually stop the bus and control if they want to, but usually not. And here we are in the smallest Baltic republic, and most progressive according to statistics. The biggest GDP economic growth last quarter was about 4%, which was quite good. And so you could see the flag of Estonia has three colors: blue, black and white. Blue is our blue sky, black is our sense of humor, and white is our hope to have better future. Actually, black is our sad history. And so nature-wise it's the same. We just now we are driving all the time along the coast, so I passed around some of the interesting materials, and this is also an interesting set of maps which is showing how this part of Europe was changing during the last century, how it looked when it was Soviet powers, Nazi powers. So take out different maps. And when you see the situation, how the small children will learn to be an inventor is something cool. And that's why in Estonia we have the biggest number of start-ups per capita. Because in our case, of course, also we have to be very thankful to Bill Gates, because in 1990s when we started with nothing, only goodwill and desire to prove that independence was the right thing to do, Bill Gates provided all Estonian schools with free of charge computers, the latest programs. So it was kind of a testing project, and it turned out to be a win-win, because our kids, they learned the latest versions of Microsoft, and if something was not working very well, they still had time to fix it before going to the bigger markets. And that's how we got this first generation of smart computer kids. In Stanford University there is even now a special term called the Estonian Mafia, who are always guys who want to find the angel investor behind the brilliant business ideas. So we are not aggressive, but we are just smart kids with good ideas, but not so much money. And yeah, so that's why this innovation activities, computer technology is a very popular thing, and children already learn it through these cartoon characters. A little Lotte, who is a dog girl, and her best friend is a puppy whose name is Bruno, and they travel together and do all kind of discoveries together. So it's a very sweet project, and in this theme park also some of the characters, some of the actors speak Latvian, because it's also well known in Latvia. So Latvian children also traveling to Lotteland and visiting the Lotte and have chance to talk with her and play with her. And we are going to see one of the traditional Estonian graveyard, which also has a monument dedicated to the people who died during our Liberty War, one which was from 1918 till 1920. And in all the Baltics we have a big shops which belong to a Lithuanian company, and the name of the shop is Maxima. And you can always decide according to the name of the Maxima how big is this city. If it's Maxima with one X, it's like a corner shop. There is a Maxima with double X, which is a place because also the Germans died here. And this is the beginning of a typical graveyard. It looks like a forest. And on the left hand is Maxima with triple X. It shows a really big shop. And here is the Independence Monument here, and a gravestone. Like me, I'm typical Estonian. I speak Estonian. I speak Russian because we were forced to study Russian from the first year in our school. So Russian is supposed to be my second mother tongue. But if I speak it, I make a grammar mistakes just to show that I'm not a native speaker of it. Then I speak Finnish because Finnish language comes easy to me as I am Estonian. And then I pretend I speak English, and then I also speak German, because traditionally it used to be the German-speaking country, so it's still a lot of people still speak also German, which is normal for us. Yeah, for us, for example, to learn French or Spanish comes a very difficult way because our grammar is very different. Our grammar is based on cases like and that's why, for example, in a Game of Thrones, one of the evil tribe was speaking the language which was based on Estonian language. So we have a lot of vowels, but it's not too bad also because in the same time in the movie of Hobbits, Orlando Bloom, you remember?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Yeah. So Orlando Bloom was speaking Elfish, which is also based on Estonian language. Yeah? So basically, there are two ways always: either a monster language from Game of Thrones or Orlando Bloom language. So, and anyway, it's only 1 million people who speaks it, and that's why it was also used by radio operators during the First World War in order to exchange the messages. I know that there were some Indian languages used, yeah, and also Estonian language was used. So here now, already on the left hand, some spas. So we speak white thing on the left. It was used for a Soviet diplomat. It was a special hotel. The Soviet diplomat, if they finished the international career and they had to move back to live in the Soviet Union. So here they had a couple of months to decompress of life in the Soviet Union, and after this they went back to Moscow or Leningrad and started continuous. Convenient location. Also, people already in the beginning of the 20th century started to come here and used it for summer vacations. So, and you can see some of the nice wooden villas on the left hand now. It's time to get back also the property like this, so it will be nice to have this wooden villa. And Pärnu has a long history of being a resort. The time is slower here, so people are enjoying themselves. Soon it will be a blossoms on a linden tree when the whole town smells very nice. A lot of restaurants, good food place, and very relaxing. Yeah. So here in front of us is the main building of bath treatments. It looks like a Greek temple for health, spa. And there is a bus, red bus. We will park also our bus, and then we will have a nice walk to the beach.
I'd like a pet shark.
So entertaining. So Estonia is now quite cool. So we have 2 ladies in a top 100 list at least. Yeah. And it looks really like it needs more people. Yeah? So the city is here, the streets are here, restaurants are here, but there is nobody around. It is Friday evening, so we can't claim that it's Monday, everybody's working or in a city. But that's what it is. Estonia, very exclusive and exclusive and when I came to meet you. And but I am once again I'm very thankful that you decided to come. I think it was a good idea. You all agree?
Yes.
Yes, you learned a lot, and now you have. If you look at world news, you have 2 favorite new countries too. And if you see something from Latvia or Estonia, you'll be, that's a Miina's country. Or, how we are doing, and you will support our country in every possible way. If something bad happens, you will also go and say, hey, Estonians, Latvians, they are worth saving. And at the corner here. So I've been leaving here, and there's a nice pink house on the horizon, like a Barbie house. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is me. C'est moi. So this top floor is all my bedroom. If it will be a smaller group, I will invite you all for a tea, but you are a little bit out of my personal limits. And survived.
For centuries, people here from all over the country have come together, joined voices and sung. In Estonia, fairy tale heroes are not brave noblemen who slay dragons and save dances. Their hero is the shrewd old barnkeeper who sits by the fire, waits, watches, and acts only when the time's right. Patience is a weapon. Caution, a virtue. This is the story of how culture saved a nation.
First time in the song festival, singing in the boy choir, and I just remember the first feeling when I'm just one singer with all others 20,000 singers. You are part of the one nation or are part of this country, and it's just a great feeling.
Singing is a part of growing up here. And so too is a sense of the country's history. After centuries of occupation, Estonia gained its independence in 1920. For 2 decades, this new country flourished. It was a nation of high literacy rates, a strong economy, and an optimism for the future. But by 1939, the major European powers were becoming restless, and there was little room on the international stage for this small country of 1 million people. All the singing in the world couldn't buy the events to come.
Up until 1939, Estonia was an independent country, and then in 1939 Hitler and Stalin signed a pact which divided a lot of Europe between them and actually was the basis for starting World War II.
Hitler and Stalin's plan would devastate Europe. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a military agreement between the Nazis and Soviets, containing a secret clause that divided the continent between Germany and the Soviet Union. Estonia was to be taken by the Soviets. Within days of the signing, Hitler invaded Poland. Then over 25,000 Soviet soldiers poured into Estonia. And within a year, there were more than 80,000. 1 Soviet soldier for every 12 Estonians.
In 1940, there came the total occupation of Estonia, and we had no possibilities to organize our defense because we were alone.
The first months of 1940 meant taking people out of their houses and then arresting several thousands, executing them.
The idea of this was to destroy all resistance to society. Teachers, scientists, writers, politicians, everybody who has been a member of the Estonian government or the Prime Minister was killed.
Estonians lived in fear of arrest, execution, or a sentence to Soviet concentration camps, the Gulag. No one was safe. The greatest fear was a knock on the door in the middle of the night. Local Soviet officials would grab any convenient person to fulfill prisoner quotas. 1/3 of those deported to Siberia were children.
Mina kui laps, 14-aastane laps, olin lihtsalt number, sest arvud olid antud, ei nutnud.
The convoys. They called themselves the Forest Brothers.
Ja nii siis läksin mina ka varakevadel 1940.
But with the Soviets in power, things changed.
Aule rahvas, neil on millest laulda, kelle austada.
Words of wisdom, let it be. broken-hearted people living in the world agree there will be an answer.